Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play HOI4 Kaiserreich as Russia. Let us continue on from where we last left off. If you are enjoying this series, remember to leave a thumbs up down below because it really does help out the channel. But if you may notice, hey, it's January. We ended the last episode in October. Well, I recorded about 5 minutes into an episode, realized my microphone was muted, and I decided like nothing really happened in the last 5 minutes. That was super important. I mean, Transmere, they had a Kolchak coup. Sweden might go syndicalist. We'll see in a few days. But other than that, nothing too crazy has happened. Worker demonstration. We're going to lose more stability because of course we are. Fantastic. Love it. Thank you. We do 2 more factories. What do we need? We need rifles. As many rifles as we can possibly get our hands on. And we're, of course, we're just trying to get more and more industry up and running. I'm actually going to get all these done sooner rather than later, which would be really nice. It's 1937. We're researching artillery upgrades. You know what? Getting better. Let's go heavy tanks. Let's try to make some sort of tank core into our army. Use them to push our way through the German front lines. That's going to be really important for us. But Savinkov is not currently in charge of the country quite yet. I don't know when exactly that event fires. But when it does fire, I think we want to immediately at least attack Central Asia. Into the Caucasus, I think we wait a little bit on that. Also, your war hasn't even started yet. No. You haven't even started the Congress of Belgrade, because I don't think you can until May, right? You still have a while for us to actually worry about you. So we're still like pretty early on into an overall Kaiserreich campaign. Like in the effects of austerity measures, thank you very much. And somebody in the comments was saying, hey, Spearhead Doctrine, mobile warfare is pretty good as Savinkov. And I will take that. I'll believe your word. And we'll take that focus. And we'll get mobile warfare as our bonuses here. Do we have any factories I have free? I have 2 factories free, yes. We'll keep on upgrading our industry. We're now at 84. We almost have more factories than we do states, which means that we have to use states instead for our production bonuses. Mexico's joining the Entente. Yes, they've had a little bit of a coup. Okay. Military legacy of the revolution. Economic legacy. So this is the... yeah, military junta. Okay, interesting. Okay, so shattering the democratic opposition. Until this point, leaders and high-ranking members of the establishment parties, namely the Cadets, Right SR, and Octoberist, have gone away lightly. As long as they did not raise too much of a fuss, they were allowed to keep on living and doing their jobs. The extent of which Russia is rapidly being transformed to Savinkov's wishes intimidates them as much as it did the socialists, and so they ultimately decided they had enough. Viktor Chernov, Pavlil Miskolov, and Adrenia Trikova after collectively drafted a manifesto in which they declared the formation of a movement to restore the Constitution and sent a demand to Savinkov to resign and allow free elections. Savinkov was not pleased, and the regime immediately moved against the Democrats. A crackdown of Democratic leaders had begun. Numerous newspapers have been closed and their editors arrested, and the prisons overflowing with political arrest yet again. The downfall of the Democratic Constitutionalists left a last possible challenge to Savinkov's unquestioned ambition dead in a ditch. More stability loss. We're now at negative 18. I would say, in my professional opinion, negative 80% stability, pretty bad. We don't want that. So, Sweden, did you... no, you had your military coup. You're still a member of Middle Europa. I think maybe it's still possible for the syndicalists to take back over. I'm not too sure. But like I was saying in the part of the video where you were not able to watch it, Sweden has been going through this coup quite often recently, so I'm just going to take a guess and say they're going to stay on the coup path, but we'll see. The 100th anniversary of Pushkin's death. Yesterday was a new monument built to commemorate one of Russia's greatest poets, and covered in our capital. 100th anniversary of Pushkin's death is a chance to recall the great days of Russian history and culture, an act of paramount importance during these dark times of crisis and instability. Yay, a little bit of stability is nice. The tiniest amount of it. Paraguay's fallen to syndicalism. You know what? I'm going to go for that little research. I think that's actually pretty good for us. You fell to the Totalist. I wonder if they're going to help out during the war with Chile. And now there's a general strike. Worker organizations all over Russia have reached an agreement and decided to call for a general strike. Even though the response, like, why? Why would you do this? Look, I know our stability is bad, and we have basically no war support. But that's no reason. No, Sweden, Finland are at war again. Fantastic. So we'll see how long they keep fighting. We want them to fight for as long as humanly possible. And waste all their manpower fighting against each other. That's the dream. That is the best case scenario for us. Is Finland, Sweden, just duking it out forever. I don't even know why they go to war. Like, I'm not too sure what the actual events are. Like, does Sweden have any claims here? I mean, they don't, and, like, Finland doesn't have any claims either, so I'm not too sure what they're even fighting over. Is it like a take state? Like, what actually is the war goal? Annex select states. Yeah, no, I have really no clue what they're actually fighting about. Kornilov's death. Vladimir Gorbachev Kornilov, Supreme Commander-in-Chief and President of Russia, passed away last night in his dacha outside Petrograd at the age of 68. With Kornilov, nothing stands in the way of Savinkov merging the post of Prime Minister and President and thus becoming unassailable to the leadership over Russia. The merger was approved by a dubious plebiscite with more than 90% of the electorate voting da. Savinkov now rules a potent and aggressive nation, ready to shed itself on the many humiliations faced since the Weltkrieg. Step into the sun once more. The VOD's commands. So, we get Finnish stability, become Finnish political stabilization, and RPR becomes ruling party. Public elections will not be held. That seems okay for us. So when are you done? You're going to be done in 30 days. I think that's okay. We will go for probably a firm hand. Get that 10% stability and war support. What I'm thinking is, I mean, getting the expansionist like right away would not be bad. But if we look at, we need at least finish state revanchism before we attack Germany during the Weltkrieg. Because that's going to give us, as you can see here, a 10% attack bonus against Germany. Which is fantastic. Like, that's just really good for us. Okay, so standoff in America, not a huge surprise. Of course, we have our 4-week civil war. Canada's probably going to take over Maine at some point as well. And they're actually implementing the War Measures Act. So Canada is going to go for the is it authoritarian democratic? I believe so. So they're going to be taking a pretty harsh approach when it comes to the Quam. Which is, I think, kind of okay. I mean, if they want to fight the International, that's their business. It really doesn't change our plans whatsoever. I mean, we'll probably, like, we might still just attack the International after the war against Germany's over. We'll have to kind of see, you know, how everything kind of plays out. Because Italy, they haven't decided to try to invade the rest of the peninsula yet, but usually I think that takes until about, like, 1938, roughly, before they have the ability to do that. Yeah, and research. What do we want to research? Well, at least wait. Inflator civilian economy, thank you. What do we know about Germany? They have about 750,000 manpower, 148 factories, a decent amount of oil, and a lot of convoys. 100 civilian factories. I mean, they don't have to have any military factories. We actually have almost as many military factories as the Germans do. 21, so they're not really building a lot of tanks either. So that's good to know. I mean, it's a little bit of information. Again, not much, but a little bit. Build up our intel here. Build up our intel, I guess, in Ukraine. Because, I mean, we're going to have to invade them at some point in the future. Also, like, again, when are you done? You're done in 11 days. Which is more than enough time for us to kind of sit on this. Get our bonus for that. We'll get our bonus because of our 100% army experience. And we should be looking pretty good. Definitely go for the 10% stability war support first. And we're actually at 35% stability. Oh my god. They said it could not be done. I mean, it's still affecting our factory output and document output, like, a lot. But it's a much better position than we've been in any time in the recent past. And we're now at 85 out of 86. We can actually start maybe trying to deploy more units. And a firm hand... 42. I mean, this actually will not take too long. So you know what? Let's at least get a firm hand done. Follow that up with our bonuses here. 73 days. Apparently 73. Apparently it's also 81. Basically the exact same time. Let's not worry about that too much. So the war has begun in the United States. CSA, American Union State, and the Pacific States are now all at war with each other. And Canada, of course, did take over New England. And we'll kind of see, because Mexico, but them being in the Entente does change things a little bit, like, depending on what the CSA actually ends up doing. And the Purge. Though thousands have already been summarily executed and many more arrested for real or suspected crimes, Savinkov's paranoia has not been satisfied. Enemies still lurk in every corner, and the syndicalists may come for his head any moment now. This is where one of the rising stars of the National Republican Party and the Deputy Minister of the Interior, Viktor Abunov, steps in to offer a solution. To ensure that the VOD's rule is solid forever in his regime lasts 1,000 years, the Russian nation must learn to fear, and above all else, its enemies must learn to fear. Abunov's brainchild is a purge, not from the top down, done via orders to arrest his dissidents or that dissident. Arrest this dissident or that dissident, but instead from the bottom up. All regional governors need to give quotas of enemies of the state. They need to find, extract, and purge. Those who do not deserve a bullet to the back of the head should work off their debt instead. The Tsar's Ukraina laid the groundwork for deporting thousands of dissidents to Siberia, but this system can be modernized, industrialized, and turned into an archipelago of destruction. Even those who are not plotting against Russia must know that their place. Abunov offers incentives, routing out possible enemies of the state in workplaces, schools, or even families, creating an atmosphere of worry and uncertainty under which the masses will flock to the only thing which can keep them safe, loyalty to the VODs. Even fellow members of the NRPR believe that Abunov's proposal is crazy, but Savinkov has taken personal interest in the proposal. So, 500,000 manpower lost. Or force and more stability for 20,000. You know what? 20,000. Let's just do a purge. That's fine. I have more than enough manpower for now. And once we actually start passing some, like, laws, which we can't do yet, because we can't do that until... Actually, no, we probably could do this. We can at least get limited conscription. And actually get our way up to partial mobilization, like, right away. So... And we're also done building all of our current factories that we can possibly do. So, you know what? Yeah. Save up our political power to get those laws passed. The all-Russian nation. Crimea, White Russia, Little Russia, and beyond. No matter what some say, those are our lands, our people. They're waiting for us to liberate them from the German yoke. Should we leave them in trouble? Never. Will we save them? Yes. But not because we cannot abandon our brothers and sisters. We are the phoenix that was destroyed and yet reborn. Wait for us. We will come. Millions of Russians will hear today on their radios, declared by several energetic speakers under the state propaganda services. The NRPR always decreed iridescent as their primary goal of foreign policy, and they were going to live up to their promises. Though Savinkov's expansionist plans cannot be realized right now, the declaration of common blood and common struggle shows that Russia won't avoid confrontation with the German Empire anymore. Get a little bit more war support. I'll take it. I will take it. Okay, so we'll be done in 10 days. Question is, do we want expansionist or do we want realpolitik? Because you say, okay, we get extra expansion options against Poland, Austria, Romania, and Persia. Persia, we already have a focus down here. Where... yeah, ultimately to Iran. So I don't think Japanese ambassador becomes High Commissioner of Shanghai. Don't think we care about that. So I don't think this is even worth it. Poland's already in the Reichspakt. Austria's probably going to join the Reichspakt. Romania, we can have them just be our friend with realpolitik. And Persia will be attacked through this event. So I really don't think expansion is really what we want. Democracy prevailed in the Philippines. That seems fine. And of course, we'll do realpolitik after this. The rise of the VODs. With the passing of Lara Krylov, Boris Savinkov and his radical NRPR supporters managed to assume control over the entire country. The most important politician of the largest country in the world, Savinkov is hailed as an indisputed Zaz of Russia and is ready to enforce his own ideology, which opposes both syndicalism and the new Russian Republican traditions on the nation. This aim of the ideology is to reconstruct the Russian state into an entity capable of defending Russian interests and citizens all over the world. Savinkov won't sue dependency on either the Reichspakt nor on the defeated Entente. This new Russia will be stronger than any alliance in the world. Gets more stability. We get Directive Number 1 and his address to the nation. And what about research? Great question. We're not finished this quite yet. Yeah, I think actually it's getting more excavation because it gives us again more civilian factories that we could use. Because right now we're getting 20 factories from trade, which I think is pretty good. These special projects should be over relatively soon. Savinkov's address to the nation. Or Savinkov, the close associate of Supreme Ruler Konov, on the radio address to the Russian people, announced his dedication to defending Russia from external and internal enemies who try to take control over the country. He promised to deal with corruption inside the state apparatus, conduct land reform, improve labor legislation, and provide further recovery to the state. It seems that order has finally returned to the country. A little bit more stability. We're now over 50%, which means we're actually getting bonuses and not only taking penalties, which is definitely something that I will take. And Directive Number 1. With the merger of the office of President and Prime Minister, Boris Savinkov continues to solidify his grip over the Russian state by penning Directive Number 1, technically an application of Article 848 of the Constitution, amongst other things. Directed, dismissed the Duma, whilst outlawing all political parties besides Savinkov's own and RPR. Furthermore, the directive raised the combat squads to the status of a state organization and auxiliary force to the Russian army, tasked with enforcing ideological control over the nation. To fulfill his revanchist ideas, Savinkov has chosen to appoint a close ally to the party, entrepreneur and industrialist Alexei Potov, as the Minister of the Economy. Potov has been tasked with transforming the Russian economy into a war machine without any reservations. More stability, a little bit of political power gain, construction speed, and of course a little bit more party support, which has now hit 52%, and I will take it for sure. We have 101 political power. Guess what? We can now, get limited conscription first. That seems okay. So I do want to get more troops. We are still being modified by negative 12%, which is not fantastic. We want to get rid of that as soon as we possibly can. But Realpolitik will be done in about a month from now. So very, very soon we'll be able to attack Alash Orda, attack Turkestan, conquer this region. Does it even have any supplies down here, or is it just to make our borders look nicer? Resources. Did you actually have steel, chromium, tungsten? No, so they actually do have some resources. Turkestan does not. So they're significantly less important for us to control, but, we'll still take it. No reason not to, I think. The Germany. You are doing some subsidies. I mean, you are looking pretty powerful. France is going to demand territory from Switzerland. We'll see if they kind of give that up or not. Of course, you're not in the International. You can't join the International until at least the Second Mill Creek actually starts. And reforming the state. The recent political crisis has shown the need for extensive reform of the government apparatus. The Senate is useless. The Senate is a useless talking shop, with many officials are corrupt and local authorities conceal the real situation in the regions. All these problems should be solved as soon as possible. Our plan outlines the creation of a powerful vertical. The Senate's power will be restricted, and a special control commission will be organized and integrated into the state apparatus. Get a little bit more stability. We're going to be questioning the Duma and a national rebirth. So Savinkov has never been much of a public speaker. His National Republican Party has always been one of the spectacle politics. And their growth and the power has only made this more visible. Mass rallies of NRPR members are held across the country. Hundreds of thousands attended and flooding the streets to intimidate political opponents with this display of popular might. Armed members of the combat squads, Savinkov's personal paramilitary, maintain order. The black uniforms model after Kolov's regiment from the Civil War era make them easily stand out from the crowd. The speakers in these rallies vary their topics and evoke themes, but very few of them are shared. Wait, okay, let me read that again. The speakers in these rallies vary in their topics and invoke themes, but a few of them are shared. Okay, a little bit of awkward like phrasing there. Russia's impending national rebirth and return to greatness and a complete reformation of the Strait. The role of two living giants is seeing this through, Levar Kurlov and Boris Savinkov. Starting with the Pale Horse, Savinkov has consistently invoked the theme of national rebirth in his literature, borrowing the original concept of Russian symbolists such as Dmitry Merezhkovsky to assert that a new, stronger Russia will be born through pain and suffering. In this third Russia, neither czarist nor democratic, will be able to assert its rightful place among the great powers. Though Savinkov has never personally used the term, his emphasis on nationality, national unity, the power of the masses, the populace to restore national glory, got the intellectually Nikola Tesla to dub it national populism. When he coined the term in the 1920s, Rusty meant it in a negative light, implying that it was a little bit more than populist slogans, but it has simply become popular even amongst parties outside Russia who try to imitate the NRPR. To get a little bit more political power, thank you very much. How is it possible that I played this mod for 4 years now, and I did not know where National Populist actually came from? Apparently it comes from the NRPR. You learn something new every day. Burma is joining Eastern Syndicalist Union. With, I'm assuming you, yes, you. Yeah, you're actually not a puppet state either. There's still war in Bulgaria, that's completely okay. And Sweden did lose the war. Finland took a little bit of territory from them, which I think is kind of funny. So I'm assuming one of these guys is probably going to end up joining the Reichspakt pretty soon. There we go, Finland has joined. Sweden probably will join soon afterwards, I would imagine so. And France did take over their territory again. Looks like it was just a peaceful transfer of power, so Switzerland's not going to be having too much effect for the rest of the campaign. Yeah, Sweden's also joined the Reichspakt. They both just joined the Reichspakt immediately. Norway is very much dead. There's no way in how they can survive this. They did get Realpolitik. Follow that up with the Curing Central Asia. Does it get a claim on Tuva? You're Tuva, right? Yeah, against Mongolia. The trial of the left separatist. The NRPR policy towards Russia's numerous ethnic minorities are always been very abstract. Though much of his support comes from the Russian nationalists, Savinkov himself recognizes that Russia is too ethnically divided for him to be able to go too far. What he and the party can do, however, is take action against Russia's ethnic minorities via proxy. During the Russian Civil War, many ethnic minorities joined groups such as the Bolshevik, or many minority groups joined the Bolshevik side, hoping to achieve autonomy in the greater Soviet Russia and thus gain the collective term of left separatist. Cited as an example of possible minority disloyalty, Savinkov's regime has begun to move against them, pressuring numerous ethnic newspapers to close and arresting hundreds of high-profile minority politicians, such as Jews, Tatars, Finns, Volga Germans, and Ukats. Minority regions have their administration staffed by loyalists, generally Russians. You fought the law, and the law won. But I do think that right now is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks for watching, my name is Anthnwam. If you enjoyed, put a thumbs up. Not enjoyed, click thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.